Good morning. Welcome at the second Singapore Heritage Science Conference. We are starting even if we are waiting for more guests, but it is not good, as Jan was saying, to punish you that came on time and not to start waiting for the others. So I will give a very brief introduction to welcome you at this conference, and Siew Ann Cheong, who is co-chairing this conference with me, will tell you something about the complexity. And at the end of this welcome address, we will like Jan Vasbinder to give us a few words. This conference has been defined starting last year as a unique conference because we are combining two scientific disciplines in search of a synergy, heritage as a science and complexity science. It is quite new. Heritage science, in the way in which we are posing it here, is the missing link in between the liberal arts as academic disciplines and the humanities. It happened in history twice, once with Cicero and the second time with the Prince of Machiavelli. Maybe here it is the third time. It's not easy to do it because the real heart of the humanities is to put ethics and empathy in the liberal arts, so in the academic disciplines. Doing it, we reshape heritage science and we reshape the way in which we look at heritage. Heritage is essentially the treasure of human experience. And today, in the digital era or in the post-digital era, as some people are starting to call our life, we are starting to think that we might be able to fully reuse and use the treasure of human experience in solving problems of real life in any discipline with an approach which is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary. I leave to you the right definition. That's why you can find the concept of the conference quite unusual because we are having people from different fields and it is not a patchwork. We have a path and we have a discourse that we are following, starting from the keynote speaker and going on with panel one, who is moving from heritage to the creative industry. Here, we want to experiment solutions. We know how powerful heritage could be, but it's so difficult to find the real power of heritage experienced and used in industry. Last year, we set the stage, and we had heritage science as a complex system. We used complexity as a lingua franca, and Siew Ann will tell us more on the methodology that we are using in order to investigate the borders on which disciplines meet. And these borders are not theoretical at all. These are the problems that we find outside in real life. And if we want to approach liberal arts as academic disciplines on the wide range from history to physics and in between all the other things, we need to make a step back and to rethink at the way in which knowledge has been organized and passed from a generation to another. Because we are at a threshold in this post-digital era. As Professor Thwaites will explain us, according to the experience that he had, we are dealing not only with big data or with important data, we are dealing with the whole treasure of human experience. And we can put it on the table. It's the first time that it happened. I mentioned other two moments in history. So first one was Cicero, 1st century BC, when in the training of the perfect public servant, the orator, or in the training of the perfect citizen, he didn't want to follow just Plato with the trivium and the quadrivium, but he wanted to add something new, and he called it humanities. The humanities is the way to put ethics and empathy in the formation of the perfect citizen and of the public servants. So we are dealing with it. Another one who dealt with this problem is Machiavelli in the Renaissance in a very different way. he wanted to form the perfect prince. And here we live in a completely different society. We don't want to remake or to reshape things according to them, but we understand that we are challenging similar problems, and we need to find a new solution. So here we are, putting together excellent brains and let them interact using this conference to share ideas and first of all to present their own experience in solving and using heritage to solve problems. Thank you so much, and I'm giving the word to Siew Ann, who's telling us more about the use of complexity in this game on heritage. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all of you here. Those of you who know Andrea knows he is very much an optimist. So he makes it sound as if complexity theory or me has the answer to everything that is going to be discussed in these 2 days. And the truth is, I don't. In fact, I have no idea how to link complexity theory to some of the issues being discussed here. So as I stand here today, I feel like I'm standing on the bridge of the Enterprise in Star Trek to boldly go where no humans have been. Okay? Now, about complex systems and complexity theory, I'm not sure how many of you, I'm not sure how many of you have heard of the two words being used, complexity as well as complex systems. But no worry. Basically, your practice of doing research in the humanities means that you are in the forefront of complexity. And you deal with complex systems all the time. Human society is a complex system. And it is the easiest way to describe complex system is that it consists of many different actors, many different factors, strongly interacting, and the behavior of the system itself is strongly path dependent. And for a long time, we don't have the tools to deal with it, but we're starting to have the tools. So and of course, as a physicist, I'm not able to answer the questions unless I can understand how the question can be casted in the language of complexity theory. And through my interactions with Andrea, so far we have been exploring the use of network science, network theory, to recast data into a network form. To give you a more concrete example, we have been talking about place names. And Andrea told me this little story of someone from Eastern Europe writing him an email and telling him that the online database that he's put up, showing, giving detailed records, scholarly records of the Venetian diaries is wrong. Because he said, that place is in my country. And in my country, the place name is called this. So what you put on the website is wrong. But of course, Andrea couldn't do anything about it because that's the name that is attributed to the place in the Venetian diaries. And so we started talking about authorship, the concept of authorship. That if I give a name to a place, I am the author. Okay, and there can be more than one authors giving different names to the same place. So we need to understand that these different names refer to the same place. But at the same time, through studying the different names given to the place, we understand the community of authors. Okay? And it is only after we understand this context that we are able to make inroads to the analysis of historical texts, because we know who is writing about it. So history is not simply about the record of people, it's also about the people who record them. So this is how, and obviously the people who record them add in their own interpretation of events, some of which is correct, others are wrong, and which is why complexity theory comes in, and I need to work more with Andrea to figure out what is going on. But I guess that's my take on the conference. This is I guess, an important year in Singapore for the Singapore Heritage Conference. This is SG 50. Singapore is 50 years old. And of the projects that are launched to celebrate our National Day this year, you will realize that a significant number of them are on heritage. So Singaporeans value the past, and maybe next year we will try to see which of the projects, SG50 projects, are the most successful, and we can discuss how they can help us project heritage, the use of heritage, and how to use heritage into the future in the third conference. But we don't know. We have to talk. I have to talk to Andrea. But now I think it's a good time to let Jan tell you more about the organization of the Complexity Institute and program, and the series of conferences that we organize here in NTU. Jan?
Okay. Well, my name is Jan Vasbinder, and welcome to you all. I'm the director of Paralimes, which is a funny word. The very name, it means beyond boundaries. We set up an institute in Europe a while ago, a long while ago, called Institute Paralimes. And the first thing we got from the linguist was that you cannot call it Paralimes, beyond boundaries, because it is a combination of Latin and Greek. To which our answer was, that's precisely what we want. So the Paralimes is organizing this conference in the sense that the heavy work for the organization is done by Andrea and by Siew Ann, and the administrative heavy work is done by Karen, who is outside, and I'm just sitting in my seat and see it happening and looking at something that's going to be very exciting. But let me tell you a little bit about Paralimes. It is the relation with complexity. Paralimes is the successor, so to say, of the complexity program that was started in August or July 2011. And the task for the complexity program was to establish a complexity institute. And the complexity institute was actually launched on April 1 last year. I can now say last year because it's 2014. And then the complexity program continued to do the things that they like to do, that is to explore new areas of science, new combinations of science. But it was kind of confusing to have a complexity program and a complexity institute, so we renamed it in Paralimes, because that very much was close to what I had been doing in Europe. And Bertel Anderson, who you met yesterday, at least some of you met him yesterday, very much enjoyed the idea, liked the idea of Paralimes. So we're now Paralimes, and Paralimes, the mission of Paralimes is to explore complexity. That is the very short mission. And in fact, it means to organize and execute explorations in complexity with top scientists, top artists, top meaning the best in the world, philosophers, people of practice, and to explore, to see whether there's new concepts to be formulated, new ways to approach existing problems, and all that to deal with the complexity in our world. It means actually also finding new combinations of science and arts. And that is precisely what this conference is all about. It is